Tonight, police now describing the stabbing of an Ottawa woman at a grocery store as a hate-motivated crime.
We need action. We need those that perpetrate these kinds of things to be held to the greatest account of the law.
The man charged and the reaction from leaders and the Jewish community tonight. A repeat crime at the community garden that supports the Barrhaven Food Bank.
Approximately $300 of food was taken from the garden.
It's food stolen for the second time.
People need to slow down. We know that high speeds are a huge contributing factor to fatal collisions, serious injury collisions.
And a busy, unofficial end to summer. How police are trying to keep you safe on the roads this long weekend. Good evening. We begin tonight with the latest on the stabbing of a Jewish woman inside a West End grocery store. We now have the name of the suspect, and police say the attack was a hate-motivated crime, leaving Ottawa's Jewish community on edge. It happened Wednesday afternoon inside the Loblaws at College Square at Woodruff and Baseline. CTV's Josh Morano joins us live with more on this ongoing investigation. Josh.
Yeah, Patricia, Ottawa police identified the suspect today as 71-year-old Joseph Rook of Cornwall. He's facing charges after allegedly stabbing a Jewish woman in her 70s while she was grocery shopping, the attack sparking concern about rising anti-Semitism in the city. Members of Ottawa's Jewish Federation at the doors of the Loblaws at College Square Friday afternoon, greeting shoppers and offering assurance to the Jewish community after Wednesday's attack.
The first thought is that this is, is a hate-motivated crime, and again, something that is just giving a sense of where things are going, which is totally unacceptable.
71-year-old Joseph Rook is charged with aggravated assault and possession of a dangerous weapon in an attack police now say was motivated by hate.
This is a second home for our Jewish community with a kosher section and people who frequent, either weekly or daily even, and we want people to feel safe.
The Loblaws store has the city's largest kosher section, and the ward is home to many Jewish residents.
I saw a few Jewish members of the community shopping, so it was nice to see them back doing their Shabbat shopping, and hopefully this was a one-time deal and we won't have to deal with it again.
This attack prompting an outpouring of anger in Ottawa and beyond.
This is not acceptable in Ottawa. This cannot become a place where these kinds of events happen more often. We have to push back against that, and it's a responsibility for each and every one of us.
It's gut-wrenching. How are people supposed to move through the world feeling safe?
Councillor for the area, Lane Johnson, is advocating for stronger tools to combat hate crimes.
We're often concerned that there is an underreporting of activity, and so could a third party that's in the community be better suited and better trusted by the community to report those crimes to, and they could work with police.
The Premier and Prime Minister are also condemning the act of violence. Mark Carney posting on X, sharing a message to the Jewish community, writing, "You are not alone. We stand with you against hate and threats to your safety, and we will act to confront anti-Semitism wherever it appears." With the investigation ongoing, Silver thanks police for the quick response, but says change is needed.
Words are one thing, action is another, and so we need action. We need those that perpetrate these kinds of things to be held to the greatest account of the law, and we need to stop this in its tracks.
Rook remains in custody with his next court appearance set for Tuesday. In the meantime, Ottawa police are increasing patrols around Jewish institutions. Both Silver and Sutcliffe noted they have spoken with the victim and say she is recovering. Patricia.
CTV's Josh Morano reporting live for us tonight. Thank you. And we do have extended coverage of the stabbing incident involving a Jewish woman at a grocery store. The police are now calling a hate-motivated crime. There are more stories online at ctvnewsottawa.ca. Well, a community garden supplying a local food bank has been targeted by thieves twice this summer. Fruits and vegetables grown to help those in need stolen when food insecurity is at an all-time high. The garden helps provide fresh produce to the Barrhaven food cupboard on Melbourne Drive. CTV's Natalie Van Roy is live with those details. Natalie.
Patricia, the volunteers say that most of the vegetables were taken during 2 incidents this summer, which is incredibly disheartening because the Barrhaven food cupboard is 100% volunteer run and it supplies food for up to 600 families a month in Barrhaven. The garden helps families who struggle to make ends meet, including seniors, people living with disabilities, single-parent households, and new Canadians. The volunteers who helped to grow the food say one of the thefts happened at the beginning of August when they noticed that all of the ripe produce was gone. The second incident happened this week.
Approximately $300 of food was taken from the garden. Our tomatoes were all gone, all the ones that were going on ripe, and the eggplants that were just about to be ready to be harvested. The harvestable peppers were gone.
The volunteer gardeners say they were also tipped off by other community gardeners in the area who noticed items missing from their personal gardens as well. The Barrhaven food cupboard is now asking the community for help with donations to make up for the major loss. And the volunteers say they have filed a report with police and are looking into installing a camera to face the car park in the area. Patricia.
CTV's Natalie Van Roy live for us tonight. Thank you. Well, residents across the Ottawa Valley are raising concerns about upcoming forest spraying approved by the Ministry of Natural Resources, saying the herbicide is dangerous for their health. CTV's Dylan Dyson joins us now with more information on this. Dylan.
Patricia, beginning in September, forest managers in Renfrew County will be dropping herbicide spray by helicopter across targeted areas to control low-lying vegetation. It has some locals concerned about health effects and chemicals seeping into their land and water. Glyphosate, the most common weed-killing chemical in Canada, is set to be dropped across select forests in Renfrew County. Tony Belcourt, a leader among Ontario's Métis communities, is concerned about the effects of spraying this chemical widely.
The forest industry is demanding it. If you kill low growth and coniferous trees and so on, the little ones, then you're going to have bigger, fatter trees for the lumber industry. That's what it's all about.
It's a practice the Ministry of Natural Resources has been doing for decades. In September, glyphosate is set to be dropped by helicopter on 5 square kilometers of forest in Renfrew County's northern region to help promote the growth of white and red pine, white spruce, and jack pine trees.
The lawns and gardens of our people, where our people depend on the food that's affected by these chemicals that are taken up through the food chain.
In a statement, the Ministry of Natural Resources says forest managers are required to create a buffer zone around waterways and other sensitive areas where they cannot spray to reduce the risk of accidental application of herbicides to non-targeted areas.
There is the potential threat that it gets into your backyard and wreaks havoc on your plants. But that's a low threat, and it's not something that's going to destroy your garden for the rest of time.
Health Canada approved the use of glyphosate in 2022, but a court decision this year ordered that decision to be reviewed.
There are countries that have banned it. Canada is not among them. We use it in our agriculture. We use it on our golf courses.
Environmental enthusiast Barbara Purdy is also worried about the forest spraying, citing concerns that glyphosate leads to health risks in humans.
We still have not heard a ruling from Health Canada on this. So just by virtue of that, no one should be spraying glyphosate in publicly used areas.
In a statement, operators that manage the Ottawa Valley Forest said glyphosate has been heavily studied over the years, and Health Canada has gone through and determined that as long as users follow the label directions, which we do, there is no risk to human health.
Because it's used so widely, it's one of the best studied of the potential chemicals you can use for this. And so that big body of knowledge has resulted in a pretty unanimous perspective from the scientific community that it is safe.
Ottawa Valley Forest Inc., the company that will do the spraying, says they want to assure residents that no spraying of private land will take place and reiterate that this is a program that has been taking place for decades. Patricia.
CTV's Dylan Dyson live for us tonight. Thank you. Still ahead, an Ottawa area driver marking a NASCAR milestone in Canada, tracking the road to his first NASCAR race this Sunday. That story coming up. Well, here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam, which has not been so clear for us the last couple of days. Some droplets on that lens again today. 16 degrees, very cool out there. as we bring in Jackie. It's certainly a cool start to this long weekend, but it will warm up by the time you get to the holiday Monday.
Yeah, so we're telling everyone, don't cancel your long weekend plans just yet. We have a little bit of rain. It is going to linger into our Saturday. And yes, we're going to continue to see the cool conditions, but sunshine is on the way. Just not for today or tomorrow. Temperatures sitting around 18 degrees here around the capital region, Cornwall as well, 18 degrees, 19, 20 degrees as we look towards the lakes. So Kingston, 20 degrees, 18 in Petawawa as well as Pembroke. And then as we look towards later this evening, if you're thinking of going out for a walk, well, 16 degrees, chance of showers still lingering. And so you might want your raincoat later this evening. Tomorrow, chances of showers early in the morning are more than likely, but the good news is it will wrap up by later the afternoon. 19 degrees, though, is the daytime high. We'll have details on your long-term forecast in just a bit.
We have breaking news tonight. There's a large police presence at Lansdowne Park after reports of gunshots in the area. We want to take a live look at the scene right now. Police say shots were fired around 4:20 this afternoon. No injuries have been reported. Police continue to search for suspect this hour. We will bring you updates as they become available. Well, the final long weekend of summer is here, and police are reminding people to drive safely with roads expected to be busy all weekend long. Taking a look at the Queensway right now, we saw some pretty heavy traffic earlier, people getting home from work and getting out of town, and a reminder to slow down and be safe out there as you're dealing with people who are maybe in a hurry to get that weekend started. And certainly if you are driving, you'll likely see more police cruisers out on the roads than usual. OPP stepping up enforcement across the province this weekend. Police are reminding drivers to take it easy, noting speeding is the top factor in fatal crashes in Eastern Ontario this year.
People need to slow down. We know that high speeds are a huge contributing factor to fatal collisions, serious injury collisions. People just need to slow down. They need to keep their eyes on the road, which means no distracted driving. And we're seeing a trend where some people are not wearing their seatbelts. And I mean, it's been the law for a long, long time. And we know seatbelts save lives. So buckle up, it will save your life.
Last year, OPP issued more than 1,600 tickets to drivers on Eastern Ontario roads over the Labor Day weekend. And here's a reminder about what's open and closed in Ottawa on Labor Day Monday. OC Transpo will run on a Sunday schedule. You won't have any garbage or recycling collection. It gets delayed by one day next week. City service centres and libraries will be closed. Now, the Rita Centre and Tanger outlets will be open. All other malls are closed. Businesses in the Glebe, Byward Market, and Lansdowne all allowed to open. Most grocery stores, though, will be closed. And if you want to pay a visit to a museum, you can do that. They are open on the Monday, and you can scan the QR code on the bottom of your screen to link to us online or visit ctvnewsottawa.ca. We have a full list of what will be open and closed this long weekend and a look at all of the events happening across the city. Well, Ontario Provincial Police continue to look for a sexual assault suspect tonight who prompted a shelter-in-place order in Renfrew yesterday. Police say the search began after a woman told officers a man with a handgun held her against her will and sexually assaulted her at a hotel on Stewart Street. He fled onto the Algonquin Trail. Residents living between the Millennium Trail and west side of Bonnechere River were then asked to stay inside at 9 p.m. The shelter-in-place was lifted 4 hours later. Police say the woman knows the suspect. OPP have not named him, but he is described as a black man around 6 feet tall with a goatee and a 5-star tattoo above his left eyebrow and another tattoo under his left eye. He was last seen wearing a purple plaid jacket. Police say if you do see him, do not approach him and call 911. Well, police have made an arrest after an investigation into voyeurism at a daycare in North Grenville. A recording device was found at a daycare on August 20th. A 27-year-old man is now facing a charge of voyeurism. He has not been identified. A 70-year-old man is dead after his car left the road and hit a rock cut near Kingston earlier today. The crash happened around noon northwest of Kingston near Godfrey on Westport Road. The driver was pronounced dead at the scene. We have developing news out of the U.S. It's a major legal blow to President Trump's economic policy. A U.S. court ruling that most of his tariffs are not legal. The decision from the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit in Washington addressed the legality of what Trump calls reciprocal tariffs imposed as part of his trade war in April, as well as a separate set of tariffs imposed in February against China, Canada, and Mexico. The court's decision does not impact tariffs issued under other legal authorities, such as Trump's tariffs on steel and aluminum imports. The case is widely expected to be appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court. Well, some troubling economic news for Canada tonight. New numbers show a key measure of the country's economic health is not looking as healthy as economists had hoped. CTV's Kamal Karamali has more on what is behind the blow to Canada's GDP.
After months of being assaulted by U.S. tariffs and battered by the ongoing trade war, Canada now showing major cracks in the armor.
This is not a good picture for Canada and what's happening here.
Canada's economy contracted in the second quarter, much more than expected, shrinking by 1.6% on an annualized basis. It's the first quarterly contraction in nearly 2 years and the steepest decline since the pandemic.
Essentially, the big change was in the first quarter, we had a rush to get exports out into the U.S. as quickly as possible. In the second quarter, that all came to a halt as some of these tariffs started to take effect.
U.S. President Donald Trump ramped up tariffs against Canada and the world that quarter, targeting steel, aluminum, and autos. While April, May, and June then saw a sharp drop-off in business investment by roughly 10%.
The depth of decline that we're seeing in the manufacturing sector is something that we haven't seen in many years. And so it is a cause for concern.
Vehicle exports plummeting nearly 25%, industrial machinery exports and travel services also falling drastically. In fact, Canada saw an unprecedented trade deficit in the second quarter, with a big gap between its minimal exports versus its massive amount of imports. The difference between the two, a whopping $19.6 billion in goods and services.
Well, guess what's happening in the middle of a trade war with the U.S.? We're exporting substantially less stuff to our major trade partner.
All of it raising fears of a recession, which economists say Canada would be in if the GDP sees another decline in the third quarter of this year.
We need to be a little bit more cautious, and that caution, of course, feeds into the economy.
The latest GDP figures putting a sharper focus on the Bank of Canada and whether it'll make an interest rate cut in mid-September. Kamal Karamali, CTV News, Toronto.
Well, just ahead, a local race car driver gets set to compete in his first NASCAR event. Pretty cool. Jackie.
Thanks, Patricia. Showers continue to linger, and we'll likely see more of this on Saturday, but don't let it cancel your long weekend plans. Sunshine is on the way. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. A couple drops there on the camera, but sun is kind of peeking through just a little bit. And here looking out through Kaweki Point, 16 degrees in downtown Ottawa.
CTV Ottawa is your home for local news.
Katie Griffin, CTV News in the Byward Market.
Centertown.
Canada.
Stittsville. Bringing you local stories that matter the most to you.
Kimberly Fowler in Westboro.
Orleans. Barrhaven.
From every corner of the community.
In the Glebe.
Manotick.
Merrickville.
Brockville.
From the team you trust, we are CTV News Ottawa.
Live, local, breaking news. CTV News Ottawa.
Taking another look at the roads, a little bit heavier than usual in spots as we head into the last holiday weekend of the summer. Well, an Eastern Ontario race car driver gets to put on a helmet this weekend and compete in his first NASCAR race. The man from Calabogie is headed to Bowmanville to race against big NASCAR names. CTV's Camille Wilson has more.
Trevor Hill is gearing up for a big race on Sunday.
It's my first time running a NASCAR or a stock car, so this is going to be completely new, completely different for me. This is going to be fun.
Hill has been competing since 1998, started with racing go-karts. Later, Hill and his brother created a business managing drivers and getting cars ready. And now, NASCAR. A dream come true.
As a kid, I always dreamed of being a race car driver. That's what I wanted to do. We wanted to be professional, both my brother and I. I remember playing with Matchbox cars that are NASCARs and on little carpets, so this is kind of cool.
Hill will be racing at the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park in Bowmanville. The WaterTech 200, the last road course race of the NASCAR season this year in Canada, alongside 30 other drivers.
The opportunities to come about like this weekend to be able to drive a professional car is quite fun. To be doing it in a NASCAR series is even better. That's a dream come true.
Well, it takes a team to go from the shop to the track.
I'm the one that's in charge of making sure all the nuts and bolts are tight on the car, the tires are set right, and getting it ready for our different practices, qualifying, and then the race. And then during the race, aside from driving a car like this, being able to go across the wall for a green flag pit stop when the pressure's on, that's pretty close to the amount of fun you get as a driver.
We're going to be racing against pros like Alex Tagliani. There's Kevin Lacroix, all sorts of the names of NASCAR Canada that are there to compete.
The winner of the race receives up to $15,000 cash. Hill says he just wants to do well, as it will open up more opportunities for him to drive professional cars and generate business.
It's really nice to feel a part of that family and to be able to take that family and knowledge that we've gained here at Calabogie and take it to the national scene.
Camille Wilson, CTV News.
And I would think a lot of people cheering him on in Morrisburg and right around our region on the weekend. Good luck to him. And after weeks without any rain, many farmers are welcoming the showers, but it may not be exactly the start to the long weekend that many of you were hoping for. It was a beautiful start to the day at the Arboretum. Someone starting the long weekend with a little fishing in the pond at the park, but the rain did come into our area early this afternoon. There is more in the forecast for tomorrow, but that looks very green, so that's something, because that's the silver lining for all of us with the rain, is maybe greening things up a little bit after a very dry summer.
Yeah, we were very spoiled for the last several weeks with that heat wave. Dry conditions, sunshine. Yesterday, some parts of the area saw about 35 millimeters of rain, some maybe more. We won't get that much into this evening as well as into tomorrow, but the light showers will continue to linger here in eastern Ontario. Now, right now, there's been a bit of a pause, especially in downtown Ottawa. Partly cloudy conditions, 16 degrees. We saw a daytime high of about 19, so we didn't quite meet 20 degrees here as we wrap up the final week of August. Rain sticking around for this evening into tomorrow morning. The showers will likely stay around Ottawa as well as Cornwall, parts of Pembroke as well as Renfrew, including Kingston. More likely to see more cloud than rain. So they'll get a mix of sun and cloud, more drier conditions than what we will see. But the good news is pretty much all of eastern Ontario for our Sunday into our Monday, we're expecting lots of sunshine and clear skies. Taking a look at tonight's lows, we are getting pretty cool overnight, single digits, so the fall-like conditions will continue into the evening overnight hours. We're getting to lows about 9 degrees here in Ottawa, 8 around the Seaway, as well as in the Valley. Bancroft sitting at a cool 5 degrees, so not quite ready for that, but we are anticipating that the single-digit lows will continue for at least the next several days. But tomorrow's highs, we are looking towards fall-like cooler conditions, 19, 18 degrees for the capital region, 20 in Brockville, 21 in Kingston, where it will be a mix of sun and cloud. Mostly cloudy skies in the valley with daytime highs about 19 degrees. Across the region, the rain really moving its way to Atlantic Canada, 18 in Fredericton, risk of thunderstorm as well. You notice that a lot of cool air really staying in the eastern part of Canada. Most of Ontario as well as Quebec sitting in temperatures in the mid-teens at 16 degrees, 17 as well. It's really summer staying strong in Alberta with a heat warning still in effect, and it is extending towards Saskatchewan and even now to parts of Manitoba, where daytime highs are sitting around 30, 31 degrees. So a little jealous of this. However, we are in store for some summer-like conditions by the start of early next week. Now, this 7-day forecast is brought to you by Davidson Hearing Aids. Join them at the 55 Plus show at the EY Center September 12th and 13th. Taking a look now, tomorrow, daytime high 19 degrees. The likeliness of showers, bring your umbrella out in the morning. It will stick around until the early afternoon, and then it should clear in time for the Atletico game at 7 p.m. Then Sunday, sunshine will carry us into Monday, our Labor Day Monday, Tuesday as well for back to school, where temperatures will climb to about 26, 27 degrees. Not quite ready, though, for those overnight lows. We Cook is Canada's leader in fresh, ready-to-eat meal delivery. Say goodbye to the stress of meal planning, prep, and dishes. We Cook chef-crafted meals are ready in 2 minutes or less. And CTV Ottawa wants to give you the chance to let We Cook handle the cooking so you can focus on what matters most. Head over to ctvottawa.ca now and enter today's unique code word for your chance to win a 1-year subscription. Now, today's code word is fresh, F-R-E-S-H. There's a new code word every weekday, so the more you watch CTV News at 6, the more chances you have to win. Good luck.
Getting hungry all of a sudden. Not sure why.
Not sure why.
Thank you very much, Jackie.
The duties, the tariffs, the brokerage fees, and the shipping is going to be included in the price for U.S. customers to be transparent.
Well, just ahead, duty-free shipping to the U.S. has come to an end after nearly 100 years. We'll have more on how the U.S. administration's decision will impact local businesses here in our area. And we have a new pop quiz online tonight. Test your knowledge of the week's news. Take the quiz at ctvnewsottawa.ca.
Tonight, a controversial new chapter in Alberta.
We are trying to take sexually explicit content out of elementary schools.
How a book ban could see classics pulled off school shelves across the province. Later on CTV National News.
The near century-long duty exemption used by small businesses in Canada and around the world to ship low-cost items to the U.S. ended today. The Trump administration has officially dropped what was known as the de minimis exemption, leaving businesses to deal with the consequences. CTV's Jeremy Sharon reports.
In small businesses across the country, there is an unfortunate new reality.
I know that I'm going to see a decline in sales to the States.
Cal Green's Ottawa-based streetwear brand Raised by Wolves is no exception.
So we've produced the apparel, they've done the shoes, and then
at least a quarter of his business comes through direct sale to American consumers or wholesalers. His product no longer exempt from duties when shipped south of the border, forcing him to make a difficult decision.
The duties, the tariffs, the brokerage fees, and the shipping is going to be included in the price for U.S. customers to be transparent. That's really all I can do at this point. As a small business, I can't afford to eat those costs.
Some of his products could still be exempt if he can prove they're CUSMA compliant. But like for thousands of other businesses, that will require more time and effort, which experts say won't always make sense.
If they want to go into the process of making sure that their goods are CUSMA compliant, that may not be worth the cost for many businesses.
It's a huge nightmare. Has been a really, really steep learning curve.
Last year, almost 1.4 billion packages entered America duty-free. Now, the new fees will vary based on a variety of factors, including the country of origin. But some businesses say they'll avoid it altogether.
To avoid confusion and conflicts with customers, I just suspended U.S. shipping for now.
Others hopeful to keep at least some of their longtime American customers.
I don't think there's as much anyone can do about it at this point, so I just want to keep moving forward and do the best I can.
At least 25 countries have opted to suspend U.S. shipping, citing a lack of clarity around enforcement. Canada Post says it'll work with a third party to collect and send the duties directly to U.S. Customs. Jeremy Sharon, CTV News, Ottawa.
In tonight's big picture, Europe's most active volcano is at it again. Drone footage from Mount Etna on the island of Sicily shows streams of glowing orange lava oozing down the slopes. The eruption forced officials to close off sections of the tourist landmark to visitors after it triggered an automatic alert system noting increased volcanic activity. Well, now some other stories you need to know right now. You will be able to have a campfire this long weekend. Ottawa Fire Service is lifting the city's burn ban after yesterday's heavy rainfall. According to Environment Canada, the city received nearly 35 millimeters of rain yesterday, the highest rainfall total in a single day in months. The fire bans have now been lifted in Ottawa, Pembroke, Petawawa, and Brockville. You still have to have the relevant permits to have an open-air fire. Well, Kingston Police Chief Scott Fraser is retiring at the end of the year. The service making the announcement yesterday, saying Chief Fraser has served the Kingston community with dedication and professionalism over the years. Fraser was appointed acting chief in 2023 and formally appointed to the position at the beginning of 2024. There's no word on when a search for a new police chief will begin. You'll soon be seeing more electric vehicle chargers outside Tim Hortons. The restaurant chain is partnering with Quebec-based Flow, saying it'll put EV fast chargers at 100 of its locations across all 10 provinces by the end of 2028. The installations are part of spending from the Canada Infrastructure Bank. It committed $235 million to build more than 1,900 public EV chargers nationwide.
Kimberly Johnson from CTV News Ottawa is in for Ashley. Ending on a high note. Yes, not only is she from CTV here in Ottawa, but she's also my wife. Thank you for being here, sweetie.
I love the sweetie right there. Keeping it all in the family this morning on the Pure Country 94 airwaves with a special guest filling in on the morning pickup. That is our own Kimberly Johnson, co-hosting with her husband, Gord St. Dennis, today. Celebrity guests have been filling in for co-host Ashley Greco while she's been away this week. You can listen to the morning pickup weekday mornings on Pure Country 94 from 6 a.m. until 10.
Arexvy is adjuvanted, means it has an extra additive to the vaccine to propel your immune system.
Just ahead, more Ontario residents will be able to get protected against RSV this fall as the province expands eligibility for the vaccine.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, CTV Morning Live, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Well, Ontario is expanding RSV vaccine eligibility to include everyone over the age of 75. CTV's health reporter Pauline Chan has more on that.
Hospitals filling up.
Respiratory syncytial virus is so common that most children will have at least one infection before the age of 2, but it's also dangerous for older Canadians.
Ontario Public Health is going to cover the RSV vaccine for any Ontario resident over 75, in addition to those smaller, higher-risk populations.
Those would include the immunocompromised, First Nations, pregnant people, infants, and those over 60 who live in long-term care. In Canada, there are currently 3 vaccines available for adults over age 60. They are Arexvy, Abrysvo, and a new mRNA vaccine called Mrezvia.
Arexvy is adjuvanted, means it has an extra additive to the vaccine to propel your immune system. Particularly important in older patients. Abrysvo doesn't have an adjuvant. The other third vaccine is made by Moderna, so it's an mRNA platform, a different technology, approved by Health Canada, not readily available.
The government has not yet announced which vaccine will be covered or whether they might be available through pharmacies. Dr. Christine Palme says the effects of RSV can be so serious that an independent senior can often experience life-altering circumstances after, like being forced into long-term care.
The reality is not returning to your home, so you've entered in one state, but you leave in a completely different state, is 8%, and that's harrowing to me that you have a vaccine-preventable disease.
RSV season usually starts at the beginning of fall, and Palme says even people who aren't covered may want to pay for the $350 shot out of pocket or through their own health benefits to be protected. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Returning now to one of our top stories, the Canadian economy is taking a hit amid the onslaught of tariffs coming from the U.S. Some analysts say the trade war is pushing Canada much closer to a recession. BNN Bloomberg's Lindsay Biscaya has more.
Statistics Canada says the Canadian economy contracted 1.6% in the second quarter of this year. It is the worst decline for the country since the COVID-19 pandemic, primarily due to U.S. tariffs, which slashed exports by 7.5%. Exports in key sectors like energy and automotive dropped significantly, widening the trade deficit. And here's a look at how the trading day ended today. The Canadian dollar up 11 cents to 72.82 cents U.S. West Texas Intermediate is down almost $1 to 64.01. Western Canadian Select is up 48 cents to 51.66, and the TSX jumped 129 points today to 28,564. Those are your business headlines. I'm Lindsay Biscaya.
Well, there's a new dynamic duo capturing the attention of the tennis world. We told you a little of this story last night. We got more on it now, just how this partnership between Venus Williams and Leylah Fernandez came to be. That's coming up after the break.
CTV Ottawa wants to give you the chance to let We Cook handle the cooking so that you can focus on what matters most. We Cook is Canada's leader in ready-to-eat meal delivery, making meal prep effortless with delicious chef-crafted meals ready in minutes. To enter, watch CTV for the daily code word for your chance to win a one-year We Cook subscription. Whether it's a quick dinner or a hassle-free meal for the whole family. There's a new We Cook code word every day. Tune in for your chance to win.
iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barrhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford store, and Eastern Ontario's Ford EV leader.
The last long weekend of the summer is here, and it's time now to check in with our iHeartRadio Weekender, Tanea Taylor. Tanea.
Starting today with the Gatineau Hot Air Balloon Festival, which is happening all weekend. It's fun for the whole family. It's not just hot air balloons. There's live music and entertainment, local vendors and food, plus a midway, a vintage car show, and nightly fireworks. Lots more on that list, too. This festival gets better and better every year, and this year is no exception. Next up, you can catch the Carp Farmers Market tomorrow at the Carp Fairgrounds. This one features a little bit of everything with over 80 local vendors selling things like vintage and collector's items, food, and lots more. It's a great opportunity to support local at one of the final markets of the summer season. And finally today, check out the Ottawa Serbian Festival. This is happening at St. Stephan's Orthodox Church tomorrow and Sunday, and it features a celebration of the Serbian culture with food, entertainment, and arts and crafts. A great way to have fun and learn a lot while you're at it. Admission is free. Lots more happening around Ottawa this weekend. For the full list and all the details, check ctvottawa.ca/weekenders. For the iHeartRadio Weekenders, I'm Tanea Taylor. Have a great one.
iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barrhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford store, and Eastern Ontario's Ford EV leader.
Well, Quebec's Leylah Fernandez will face top-ranked Sabalenka in just a few minutes in third-round action at the U.S. Open this evening. She's also competing in doubles, teaming up with Venus Williams in a real display of cross-border cooperation on the court. CTV's Geneviève Beauchemin is serving up this story.
This tennis odd couple of sorts took to the court at the U.S. Open.
Crossover of generations in this one. Williams was 23 years old when Fernandez was born.
And already a superstar with 7 Grand Slams to her name.
In Montreal, I would like to go on a date.
Montreal-born Leylah Fernandez is now 22. The U.S.'s Venus Williams, 45, is her idol.
Getting set match, Miss Williams.
Has won 14 Grand Slam doubles titles before with her sister Serena.
I'm used to being the big sister, so, you know.
Williams is also 6'1", towering over Fernandez at 5'6". And this Canadian-American partnership stretches across borders to at a particular time in history. Still, observers say it works.
It's a great doubles pair. It's exciting, and she's playing at U.S. Open with Venus. Venus has such a big crowd always behind her.
Fernandez's volley goes long.
There were some early adjustments to be made. Not surprising, really. The partnership only came to be Tuesday after the Czech player Fernandez was originally paired up with pulled out due to injury.
Good move.
The doubles team, though, landed a big victory in Williams' first Grand Slam tournament in 2 years.
It's the best partner I ever played with outside of Serena.
It's like probably the biggest compliment I ever got. So thank you, Venus. I mean, oh man, I feel like those are big shoes to fill at the moment.
Now, the pair will be back on the court for second-round play on Saturday. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
So, Melanie Gig, along with Lazy Boy, we would like to give you $5,000.
You're going to get to spend that?
Thank you.
Coming up, we meet the winner of the CTV and Move 100 Community Hero Award. Jackie.
Thanks, Patricia. Warmer temperatures and sunshine on the way, but first, brace yourself for some cool conditions and possibly more rain on the way. More details on this when we return, but here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam. 16 degrees.
On Sunday, October 5th, CHEO's RBC Race for the Kids will support the largest redevelopment campaign in CHEO's 50-year history. Join CTV and Move 100 and register now for the 5K or 10K timed all-terrain routes or the 2K accessible family fun run at Wesley Clover Parks. Whether you run, walk, or cheer participants on, there will be something for everyone with music, food, and activities to enjoy. Register now for CHEO's RBC Race for the Kids and help support pediatric health care in our community.
Well, Tuesday on CTV Morning Live, we are heading back to school. We tell you everything that you need to know as you get back into that routine.
And speaking of back to school, I pay a visit to St. Laurent Academy's brand new campus, and they get ready to welcome back students.
Oh, wake up the right way with CTV Morning Live, and it all begins at 6 a.m.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
And here's what's on CTV on your Friday night. E-Talk, The Big Bang Theory, Celebrity Jeopardy, and back-to-back episodes of Fear Thy Neighbor. And here's a recap of the top stories we are following right now.
We need action. We need those that perpetrate these kinds of things to be held to the greatest account of the law.
Ottawa's Jewish community left shaken after a Jewish woman was stabbed inside a grocery store. Police now calling that unprovoked attack a hate-motivated crime.
Approximately $300 of food was taken from the garden.
The volunteer-run Barrhaven Food Cupboards community garden has been targeted by thieves twice this month. They stole fresh produce used to help provide food for families in need.
People need to slow down. We know that high speeds are a huge contributing factor to fatal collisions, serious injury collisions.
We'll expect to see an increased police presence on the roads and highways over the next few days. Police are stepping up patrols this long weekend. And we want to know all about the forecast on the long weekend, squeezing in a day of summer maybe on the holiday Monday, Jackie?
Yeah, we're going to guarantee sunshine. I'll be very confident in that, but we just got to get through tomorrow's wet conditions. So yeah, we'll likely have showers to start off the day, and cool and chilly 9 degrees as well. It's only going to warm up to about 19 degrees. The good news is the rain should clear by the early evening. In time for the Atletico game at 7 p.m. at TD Place Sunday. Sunshine, 25 degrees. That's what we're wanting to wrap up August and get into the start of September, where Labor Day Monday, daytime high 26 degrees, but it's the overnight lows. You could already see fall creeping in with the single digits, sticking to 9s well into Tuesday. Patricia.
That's a pail of sand there, right, on the Monday?
Yeah, head to the beach.
I know I'm hungry because I'm seeing popcorn. Popcorn.
Have some popcorn, head to the beach, a little bit of
all of it. We want to check in and see what our team is working on for 11:30 tonight. CTV's Natalie Van Roy will be here for that. Natalie?
Thanks, Patricia. Well, we are following this breaking news at Lansdowne Park closely after reports of shots fired around 4:20 this afternoon. There's been no reports of injuries, but a search for the suspect continues this hour. Investigators have cordoned off the area with police tape and are asking the public to follow the directions of officers on scene. Now, this all happened during broad daylight at the start of a long weekend, and the incident has also forced the cancellation of the first night of a festival called Yow Fest at Lansdowne. Now, several performers were set to take the stage tonight, including Justin Trudeau's son. Now, get the news anytime, anywhere at ctvnewsottawa.ca, and join me tonight for CTV News at 11:30.
All right, Natalie, thank you. And finally for us tonight, an Ottawa woman has been honored with CTV and Move 100's Community Hero Award and a $5,000 Lazy Boy gift card prize for her acts of kindness toward people in need.
So Melanie Gigg, along with Lazy Boy, we would like to give you $5,000.
You're going to get to spend that?
Thank you.
There's Jeff and Sophie making that presentation. Melanie Gigg goes store to store across the city asking businesses to donate extra coffee, snacks, even pizza slices. She also reaches out on Facebook, gathering support from community members. And with what she receives, she puts together handout bags that are filled with food and water for those who need it most.
At least I can help somebody. That's my main goal, is to help somebody out there. And if I'm helping somebody, it means somebody else can help somebody else as well. The more initiative that people give, the more initiative people have to be able to feed somebody else, not just themselves.
With Jen. The ultimate passing it on, and she says her actions show how one person's kindness can inspire others to give back. The award is sponsored by Lazy Boy of Ottawa, Gatineau, and Kingston. We have a lovely Lazy Boy Lounge out there that guests get to enjoy when they stop in. And yeah, awesome to see that kind of community initiative.
Yeah, wonderful act of kindness to kick off the long weekend.
That's awesome. And it's good to see like that food going to a good cause instead of going into the garbage.
Yeah, absolutely. Had a chance to talk to some wonderful kids who spent their summer doing something really special. We actually told you about it here the other day. Out in Cornwall, they were collecting cans and bottles and raising money for Roger Nielsen Children's Hospice. They raised $6,000 this summer.
Amazing.
2 young kids, 9 and 7.
Making a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some good-looking skies for the Gatineau Hot Air Balloon
Now
Festival.
we got to get up there.
Yeah. Yeah? Maybe. That's not tonight, I don't think.
No, not with the rain.
No.
That's beautiful sky. Have a great weekend, everyone.